Good morning, everyone. Please bear with me. If for some reason I get choked up, things inside my throat tense up, and it makes it harder for my voice prosthesis to work. If you have any questions, please feel free to find me afterwards. I will be happy to explain how this works, or anything that you have any questions about I can answer. I feel that my new voice really is amazing, and what the doctors did for me was incredible. Terry Fox has been named one of Canada's greatest heroes. He wanted to run across Canada to raise money and awareness for cancer research. He wanted Canadians to know the importance of finding a cure for cancer. His dream was to raise $1 for every Canadian. When he told people what he wanted to do, they thought he was crazy. Terry had friends with him to help him along on his marathon of hope, to encourage him, support him, and to advise him when he needed it. Like Terry, I had friends too that helped me in so many different ways, from caring words of encouragement to making meals for my family, from hugs to just listening to me and just being there for me. So here's my story. In December 2014, my son was about to go to his karate Christmas party. I had a phone call that changed my life. My doctor called me to say the biopsy they had taken a few weeks earlier showed the tumor in my throat that was over my vocal cords was cancer. They told me I was to have a total laryngectomy in less than a month. I broke down. My kids just stared at me, not knowing what was going on, and my husband just held me while I cried. We told the children that I had to go back for surgery, and it scared me. They had seen me in pain from other biopsies, so bless them, they gave me hugs and said that they understood. "It will be okay, Mummy," they said. We went to the karate party, and my best friend Vicky looked at me and asked what had happened. In the car park, I told her what the doctors had said. Within a few minutes, she began to organize my night for me. I was in a complete daze, and I don't think my husband was much better. She took care of my children at night, and when they had gone to bed, she came over and spoke to my husband and I to see if there was anything else that she could do. January and the day of my surgery was coming way too soon. I had spoken to a lady, Kathy, down in London, a new friend of mine, who had gone through the same type of cancer in exactly the same place. She recommended that I tape some stories that my children loved so they could listen to them in my old voice. I stayed up late for many nights just recording stories. And what started off as choose your favorite book for Mummy to read ended up with me pulling books off the shelf. I've worked with kids for over 20 years. I have a lot of favorite books. I taped messages for my children and for my husband and my mum, my sister, my best friend, and even someone you might know at school who loved my English accent. She loved how I said water. It was a strain on my throat to speak for a long time, but I was determined to get through the books and the messages. We had lots of meetings with my doctor's medical team. I don't think I took one word in. Vicky, on the other hand, soaked it all up. made notes, gave me a binder full of the information. I really don't know what I would have done without her. The doctor told me that I would still be able to breathe, thank goodness, eat and talk after surgery, but it would be a little bit different. He showed me diagrams of how my throat would look afterwards. I don't think I took much of that in either. It wasn't until he told me I would never be able to swim again that I finally broke down. Swimming to be my passion. I love swimming. So, some very good friends at school got together and they booked a trip to Great Wolf Lodge for my family and myself. And we swam, and I swam for what I knew would be the last time. That was hard. I had spoken to another friend, telling her I would love to get some pictures taken before the new attachments came into my neck. And she called around and found a wonderful photographer who, when she heard my story and what I was doing, she wouldn't let me pay a penny. Before surgery, Vicky pulled me aside. She said, I want to make a Facebook page for you, for your friends and family back home in England. We can post updates. And Vicky knows me well. I don't post pictures of my children on Facebook. So she made a private, closed Facebook page, invite only. And she called it Hope for Julie. I had over 90 people, friends and family, all over the world, following my updates. In the end, that Facebook page was not only for them, but it was also for me. The words of faith and encouragement that I had from all over the world, from my friends, was amazing. I had many letters and cards, not just wishing me a speedy recovery, but also asking me to thank Vicky for keeping them posted. Surgery came. My recovery was awful. My husband would not leave my side. Vicky tried to convince him to take a break, and between the two of us, we managed to convince him to stay one night in a hotel. I knew my children were in good hands. They were with my mum, and their teachers were looking out for them at school during the day. The nurses were amazing, very patient with me, and helping me to learn to cope with a new me. I was told that there would be a strong possibility I would need radiation. And sure enough, as a precaution, 6 weeks after surgery, I started radiation. My medical team strongly advised me to go to London for the radiation. For 6 weeks, Monday to Friday, they wanted me to be in London. They said I could stay overnight. There was a hotel nearby that would give us discount rates. And then go home at the weekends. But for me, that wasn't a possibility. I wouldn't have seen my children all week. Joe had already taken so much time off work. We just didn't know what to do. I called Vicky. She said, you have many friends who want to help you. They just don't know what to do to help you. They're waiting for you to ask. I think this is what they can do. She started to set up a list of dates that I needed to go to London. Ever so quickly, I had drivers taking me to London. Friends that I had known for years, and some that I'd only known for a little while. But all of them rallied to help me. I had lunches and dinners brought to my house. My daughter's dance teacher sent a basket of things to help me in the hospital. supported my children's school and the wonderful people that I work with here at SJK. People kept asking me what they could do to help. I was just so overwhelmed I sent them to Vicky. Joe and I really don't know how we would have managed without all our friends. The last week of radiation was the roughest for me. My neck was peeling, it was purple and sore, and I really didn't want to go through the last rounds of treatments. I was done. I told my husband and I told my best friend Vicky. They sat me down and told me that there were people who are a lot worse off than me. They told me I had to do it and just get on with it, and they were right. I met a lovely lady who was all by herself, going through radiation and chemo. On the phone, she broke down. I gave her a hug, trying to be a friend to her. She was at the appointment alone, with no friends with her. I looked at Joe sitting beside me. Every day, since I'd started radiation, I had had a good friend with me, supporting me. I went and lay down on the radiation table, thinking of that poor girl who was alone when she needed support. The technicians came in, and for the first time they put a CD on for me. The words came out loud and clear. I get by with a little help from my friends. I had my friends. I'm not alone. I lay on the table and cried. On the last day of my radiation treatment, my children went to school. It was just a regular day for them. I'd asked Vicky to come down with my husband and I wanted her to be there with me. I walked out of the treatment room, ready to bang a gong, a signal to everyone that it was my last treatment and I was done. I banged that with all my might. In the waiting room, beside the gong, were my friends and family, with balloons and blowers and signs supporting me. I remember seeing my children and the tears started to come again. And one of my friends was holding up his mobile phone. And there was my sister. There was my sister. She was supporting me all the way from England. She had been there every step of the way too. So clearly more tears came. I am lucky. I am lucky that I'm alive. I am lucky that I have a new voice. I am lucky that I can think and my inner voice can be heard. I am lucky I can breathe. I am also lucky I have friends and family that have supported me through all that I have gone through. I am lucky that they wanted to help me, because I don't think I could have got through half of what I did without a little bit of help from my friends. 10 years ago, I probably would have sounded a lot different after surgery, without money for research for cancer. I really do wonder what I would sound like today. When you are doing your Terry Fox labs, remember the courage and commitment that Terry had, but also remember the friends and family that supported him. Remember too that we are being like his friends. We are friends supporting each other. We have to keep going so we can keep and support Terry's dream. Good luck today.